Pike units tend to be surprisingly better than you may expect for their era. But does this also apply to the Feudal Era Demesne Pikemen? Demesne Pikemen are a 1-star Feudal Era line defense unit. They will cost you 70 leadership to add them to your warband. Demesne Pikemen have one trait, Swamp. The trait increases damage against cavalry by 16% and reduces an attacked cavalry unit's movement speed by 30% for 1.5 seconds. There are 3 possible formations for Demesne Pikemen. Dispersed. The unit spreads out a little to lessen the damage from ranged attacks. Line. The unit forms 2 staggered rows, effective when advancing. Slight increases in anti-charge defense. Chiltron. The unit forms a circle for all-around defense, vulnerable to artillery. There is only one unit order available through Veterancy, Sprint. This increases the movement speed by 15% for 8 seconds. There are 3 Veterancy lines for Demesne Pikemen. Before the split, the unit receives a 5% increase to armor penetration. The top line focuses on the damage of the unit. Some notable boons are the increase to piercing damage, armor penetration, damage to heroes and infantry, as well as in field battles. The unlocking of the line formation is also great. You end this line with 2 extra points. The middle line focuses on utility with notable upgrades, being the Sprint unit order, addition of 4 more soldiers, as well as health and defense increases. You end this with 2 extra points. The bottom line is all about open world, reductions to resupply, food consumption, and unit losses in open world. You end with 7 leftover points. The middle and top lines are both good. I would recommend running the top line and dumping the 2 extra in the middle. The 4 more soldiers and damage in non-dispersed formation and sprint is nice, but not worth the trade-offs to get that far in the line. As for doctrines, I run the Life Doctrine, Piercing Damage Doctrine, Piercing Defense Doctrine, and Rare Polearm Doctrine 1. My dream loadout is the Epic Battle Line Doctrine, Rare Polearm Doctrine 1, Epic Polearm Doctrines 1 through 3. This helps their damage and gives extra utility. The Siege Fighter Doctrine or Assassination Doctrine are also great swap outs for Epic Polearm Doctrine 3. Demesne Pikemen are a low era unit. This means they tend to match up poorly with late era units. The main advantage is that with the cheap leadership they fit nicely into various warbands. They can be greatly utilized by using their formations to move around with allies. They can surprisingly also be utilized in loose formation, as they can also hold up longer than expected against units with small hitboxes, since they keep them at a distance with their pikes during auto attacks. With that aside, if the enemy unit charges or uses a unit order that helps it close the distance or stagger them, they will fall quickly. So utilize this with allies as much as possible. Demesne Pikemen are great at low levels against low era units, and when fully leveled up and loaded with good doctrines and node upgrades, can still do some unexpected damage when managed well. Under a good warlord, this unit can be a blast as you trade off with some higher era units, or take down a warlord faster than they expect. I hope this gave you a look at Demesne Pikemen. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and hit that like button. With that aside, until next time, I'll see you on the battlefield.